Hopefully you've had a few minutes now to soak that in, but pretty long list of names: Jimmy Mackay, John Aloisi, Andrew Redmayne, Josh Kennedy, Aziz Behich, World Cup hero. How does it feel?
It feels great. I don't want to take all the credit, that's for sure, because tonight, not just the players that played, the players that come in, and even, the boys that were on the bench or in the stands. We've worked hard this week, and, we want it to be tough to beat. That's the type of team we pride ourselves on. Yeah, of course, we've had better games. We've played better. We can do better. We'll improve. But, the way we knew it was going to be a tough game. There's no easy game in international football, and against a nation like this, and we haven't beat in a long time. We said we want to be the squad that does that, and look, it feels great. It feels great, and I can't thank the staff and the playing group enough for this moment.
Talk us through the moment the ball came to your feet, you hit it. What's the reaction when it first comes to you, and just talk us through every moment from that point on? Yeah,
look, it was just about getting myself in a position into the box. One thing that the boss said at halftime was, we still got to work hard, be tough to break down, but we will get our opportunity if we stick to our structure and get numbers into the box, and we'll get one opportunity and we'll take it. And, I just try to get myself into that back post area, and look, as soon as it sat and it's come off my foot, I felt it hit pretty nicely. I actually didn't see the ball actually hit the net. I just kind of saw the crowd erupt and players start running everywhere, and that's when I looked at the goal. I'm like, let's go. It's a beautiful moment. So, yeah, look, I'm grateful that, I was the one to hit the back of the net. But like I said, the boys out there tonight had to work so hard, and, it's an individual couldn't do that.
Aziz, congratulations. I remember talking with you back in October when Tony first came in, and you talked about how everything you did on the training track had a purpose, all your movements had a purpose. Was that move, Riley's move to the byline, the cutback for you to finish, is that a goal 6 months in the making? All of those movements, all of those patterns have been what you've worked on for this moment? Yeah,
definitely. We talk about getting numbers in the box, when someone's crossing, the opposite wing back, and that's my position. I need to get myself into a position where I can affect the ball. And, Riley did really well there. And, I saw a few boys run straight into the goal, so I thought I'd hold back in that instant because there was such a big gap there on the penalty area, and it just fell for me. So, look, it's no surprise for us that we had what Riley did and where I was in the box at the time, because, we work on that all the time. And like I said, the boss said at halftime, we'll get one moment and we just need to take it.
I think this is your first goal for the Socceroos in 13 years. I think the socials posted it as. I mean, you've had so many special moments wearing the green and gold, and you've had so many special moments with your family and wearing the green and gold. Where does this rank? Where does this goal rank in all of that?
Oh, it's right up the top, that's for sure. I think with what's on the line for us, what we've had to go through this campaign, and obviously playing against a nation that we haven't beat in I don't know how many years. And, we're always the underdog and always expected to lose. But, we always have belief within those four walls. And, this is right up there in my green and gold career.
Aziz, congratulations. I just wanted to ask about the goal itself. It looked like the ball was behind you when you hit it. Is that something you can do often, or is that how many times out of 10 do you score that goal?
Yeah, I hope I can do it often, but look, it sat pretty perfect for me, to be fair. I just had to get my body around a little bit, but the ball kind of just stopped nearly dead, so it gave me an opportunity to get around it quickly. But like I said, I just held my run back a little bit more than trying to get into position before I'm needed, and luckily enough, it sat perfect.
Yeah, the other thing I was interested in is just the difference in emotion, or the change in emotion between the 88th minute and pretty much the whole game defending your line versus scoring the goal, which in all likelihood is sending Australia to the World Cup. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, look, obviously, to be honest, I didn't know what to do after I scored. But, as soon as the kickoff happens again, you got to switch right back on. You're playing against a top nation and international football. There's still a lot of minutes to go, and, you just got to switch the mentality again and get back to doing your job and just do everything you can to get over the line, and, you can always enjoy it after the game.
Last one for Aziz, guys. Aziz, can you just talk us through the week you've had A-League champions just a couple of days ago. Now you've scored the winning goal that potentially sends Australia through to the World Cup. Can you talk us about the emotions that you've had this week?
Yeah, look, it's obviously been a great week. I enjoyed winning the A-League championship, but I had to switch my focus real quick to here because I flew out the next day, and this is a big opportunity, obviously, to represent Australia again, and with, like I said, with what's on the line as well. I've been around long enough to know when to switch my mentality and when I can enjoy myself. And we've still got another important game to go now away in Saudi. We want a good result there as well. This obviously is nice, but we want to be that team that has expectations of winning every game we go out to. So, yeah, look, full focus is on that now. When all this is done and dusted, then I can enjoy everything.
Thanks, Aziz.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, questions for Tony? Chadwick, do you want to start us off?
Congrats on the win, Popper. Just what are your thoughts after that and emotions as well?
Yeah, emotions were obviously very high. I think for many reasons, we know what we're aiming to do is to get direct qualification. You're playing the best team in Asia at the moment, and when you win it so late, you can't script it better than that. Although, it's obviously a nervous 90 minutes before it gets to that point. But just a wonderful goal. Just very, very happy for everyone involved with the Socceroos, the FA, the board, chairman, CEO, all the way down. It's been really intense period since I've come in, but everyone's embraced what we're aiming to do, and we're very close now to achieving our goal.
Yeah, how do you approach that game in Jeddah now, knowing that as long as you avoid a crazy big loss, you guys are there?
If we were there, you'll write that we've qualified for the World Cup. I don't think anyone in this room will write that. Will you write that we've qualified? Okay, all but you can't say it yet, okay? So if the result, Saudi wins, we need to do a job in Saudi. We have to, we were in a great position, but we have to finish it off. So let's see in a few hours what happens with their game.
Tony, it was probably not the 90 minutes that you were hoping for. What do you put that down to first? Was it partly Japan's press which forced you guys back so often so early?
I think the quality of Japan. That's the challenge. The quality that they possess. We found it difficult to retain the ball. But I thought the biggest problem we had in the first half was nothing with the ball. Actually, we didn't win a challenge. We didn't win a second ball. They were a lot tougher than us in the first half. And when when you can keep winning the ball, you can keep your momentum going forward. And we didn't have a chance to retain the ball. And when we went in our duels, we were pretty much second best in every challenge. So, they're very good. There's no doubt about that. And we know there's room to grow and room to improve. But, a lot of people have sat here talking about the what-ifs about playing Japan and not winning in a very long time. And we've done something special tonight.
You brought on Riley McGree and Mitch Duke. Riley at halftime, Mitch, about 60, 65 in. You mentioned about physicality there. Both of them brought it in spades, and it was, Mitch, I think, won 2 free kicks within coming on within 5 minutes, and then they both combined for that goal. When you send players on with the intention of adding a bit more physicality, how pleasing is it that it comes off in such a big moment at such a crucial time of a game?
Yeah. Of course, you're always hoping for the players that come on to have an impact. We just felt at halftime we needed to change. We needed to get a little bit better in retaining the ball, but also better physicality in midfield. And I thought Patrick, which you didn't mention, but I thought he did a very good job. He was just quick to the challenge, quick to the ball, moved the ball quickly, and we just lacked that bit of spark in midfield. Riley came on. He's had very limited game time. Actually, in all honesty, I was actually worried about him with about 15 to go. I thought he was really looking fatigued. But then Riley shows that bit of quality that he has, which we really want to harness and get him fully fit, that he can show that over a long period of time, because he's done that in the 90th minute. It was probably 20 to 30 minutes too long for him tonight, but he did a wonderful job.
Tony, you would have had a very good view of the goal from where you were standing in the dugout. Could you walk us through how you saw it? When did you know it was hitting the back of the net?
I think as soon as he hit it, I just had a great vantage point there that, I could see the ball was going in as soon as it left his foot. Just a wonderful goal. But just, that moment there, although football-wise we need to get better and we will get better, but in that moment, 90th minute, we had 6 players in the box, 6 players trying to score a goal. So, that the players were moving forward. Yeah, I'm sure they were fatigued. They had to do a lot of work, and it was just good reward for the group. We were tough. We kept a clean sheet, and we've done something that many Australian sides have found hard to do. I understand why now that I'm in this role, why it's hard to beat Japan, and we've also broken a great run that they've been on. I don't know what it is, 15, 16, 70 games, 16 games. But also in this campaign, how long they've gone without losing a game, I think it's 15 or 16. Yeah, so they're on a wonderful run, and there's a reason for that. So they are the best, and we want to challenge them to be the best. So we shouldn't shy away from that, and hopefully today we take a big step forward knowing we can beat Japan.
I guess I asked this of Aziz and I'll ask it of you as well. Obviously, you get very limited time with the boys on the training track, but did you see the work that you've done with them in all the camps that you've had, in the movements, the runs that they made in that goal?
Yeah, we did. Look, I thought we saw a lot of things in the intention, even in the first half. Their intent was there, but we couldn't execute, or we couldn't retain the ball. But we could see the intent. So that's obviously something that we need to do better. But it was a great goal, but the individuals make it as well. Riley's bit of quality. Jason came on, gave us some freshness with his pass. And Aziz just finishes off a great personal week that he's had.
Japan in 2 games, they've only scored an own goal. That's the only way they scored against you. You've taken 4 points off them. They hadn't lost in 4 years, or how many years it's been. And knowing now you can tell that to the players and you can still improve. Like, it must be just so empowering for you and the group.
Yeah. Well, we haven't had a chance to chat as yet, but I'm sure twofold, they'd be very satisfied. They know they've done something that hasn't been done for quite a while. And the part that we keep telling them is there is a lot more growth, and we need to get better if we want our expectations to be high. And we don't want to shy away from that. But tonight's a special night for everyone involved, I think, for Australian football. We take a major step towards achieving our goal. We've almost done it. And we beat, a fantastic nation that should give everyone confidence, whether they're a supporter, whether there's someone involved with the Socceroos, or just someone watching our game for the first time. That was quite a special night.
As a defender yourself, how proud are you of what's been done in defence over these since you've taken charge? Because you've shut out Japan and you've had multiple great defensive performances. Do you feel now, if you can just get the little things in that final third, the team's potential is limitless?
Yeah, the potential's there, but we're trying to build a foundation, and that was Ale Chikati's first game with me. That's only his, I believe, his 3rd cap. He's just come back from a long injury with an ACL, and to perform that way, it was really pleasing. And then you've got Ryan Teague, who's another young player that's come in, limited caps. We will go through the list. There are a lot of players that don't have international experience. So this will help them, knowing that they can do it against the best. And, when we get some players back, hopefully our squad depth keeps getting bigger and better. And there should be some healthy competition for places.
Tony, you coached in Perth for a couple of years, and 2019, you were on the wrong side of dramatic circumstances at this particular stadium. Tonight, packed out crowd again. How does it feel for you coming back here and being on the right side of something probably equally as dramatic?
Yeah, special night. Obviously the outpouring of emotions when we scored, and obviously after the game. Yeah, it's a moment I'll always remember. You know, there's no greater honour than doing what I'm doing if you can't play. So I'm very honoured with this responsibility, and I'm very proud of everyone involved. So we've all played a part in getting us to this point, and we want to go to Saudi Arabia now and really finish the job off.